Hey everybody, I'm here to spoil the movie Last House on the Left. The movie was made in 2009, and when I first saw the commercials, I couldn't tell if it was going to be a scary movie or a thriller. Turned out to be a thriller, but with a little scare at the end. The movie starts out with some chick and her parents, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to go on vacation and have a really good time together in this house in this creepy woods, and it's the last one there." And the girl's like, "Yeah, yeah, I love that place," and she can drive, and her parents don't really trust her, and like there's a bunch of issues between them all. So eventually they get to the house, and the parents are like, "Oh, we want to do it," and then the daughter's like, "Well, I don't really want to let you do it, so can I go hang out with my friend that just lives here all year? That's my best friend apparently." They're like, "Yeah, yeah, go ahead and go do that," and she's like, "Okay, all right, I'll be back. I'll use our one and only car that we have." And she goes, and her friend works at a gas station, and she's just chilling in the gas station with her friend, which is cool, I guess. And this guy walks in, like their age, and he's like, "Hey, can I have a pack of cigarettes?" And she's like, "Can I see some ID?" And he's like, "No." And at this point, I'm like, "All right, this guy's fishy." And she's like, "Well, since you're cute, I'll sell you the cigarettes." And he's like, "Okay, you guys want to come back to my house and smoke pot?" And she's like, "Sure." He's like, "Actually, it's not a house, it's a hotel, but it's still cool." And they're like, okay, that's kind of weird, but sure, we'd love to come smoke pot with you back at your house. So they leave the gas station and go to his house to smoke pot. And they're in there, and then opens the door, and two creepy guys walk in, and some weird, scary girl that I had the feeling was a lesbian because she was like a man. And they come in, and his dad's like, "No, what the hell are you doing? Why'd you bring them in here?" And at this point, you're like, I don't really know what's going on right now in the story. Like, I don't know where these people are from or what kind of people they are. And they're like, "Whoa, we just gotta take them with them." The girls are like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, we are just here to smoke pot. We don't even care." And he's like, "Well, we killed people." And they're like, "Whoa, you don't need to tell us all this stuff. It's really not that important." And they're like, "No, we killed a bunch of people. Now we're gonna kidnap you." And they're like, "What?" They try to run, and then all the two guys are like really creepy pervert guys. And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna tie you up now, and I'm gonna put you in my car, and we're gonna drive away." And they're like, "Okay, whatever, just don't kill us." And they're like, "Okay, fine, let's start driving." So they start driving down this road, and they end up like in the forest. And apparently, this town is just full of a bunch of roads with forests. And they get into the forest, and the girl's like, the main character girl, not the friend, who the friend is, she's a black-haired girl, and the other one's the blonde-haired girl. The blonde-haired girl is like, "Oh, you're gonna want to take a left up here to try and get to the highway." And at this point, they're like, "Whoa, should we trust this girl? She's trying to trick us." Turns out she's just right, and she wants to gain their trust. While they're in the car, it shows you taking the road, and they're going off to the road, and all of a sudden, because they're sitting the two guys are sitting in the front, the chick and the other two chicks, and the boy, who you get the impression doesn't really want to be there and isn't a killer, is sitting in the back, and the main character girl sticks her hand onto the cigarette lighter and waits for it to pop out. Where she then, as it pops out, sticks it in the forehead of the manly chick, who freaks out on her and just goes ape. And all of a sudden, the car starts jerking around, and the one guy's like, "Hey, shut the fuck up back there. Come on, seriously, can't control the situation." She's like, "Oh, okay, I got control of it. She's like staring her down, and it's kind of weird. All of a sudden, the car, runs off track and into the woods, and it like rolls down a hill and like slams into this and slams into that. And of course, like any other movie, everyone walks out and one guy's hurt. He's a broken nose. It's like, "Oh, I got a broken nose and our car just got totaled and you should have died," but whatever. And at this point, everyone's like, "Oh," just mad and anger, so much anger. And at this point, the black-haired friend, the not the main girl, just takes off running. And the guy's like, "Yo, go get her, go get her." So the chick and the guy take off, and like every other scary movie ever made, she can never run quietly through the woods. She has to run like screaming and yelling, so they know exactly where she is. Then, like every other scary movie, she trips on something she doesn't see and accidentally falls in the greatest hiding spot in the world. And they're like, "Oh, we can't find her." And she's like, "Oh, now that they're gone, I'm not going to stay in this awesome hiding spot. I'm going to run more." And she just starts running. And again, she can't be quiet, and she's yelling the whole time. And she comes up to like this construction site, and she's like, help me," because her ankle's broken and she can't walk. She's like, "Help me," and no one can hear her because all the machinery's going off. All of a sudden, the manly chick grabs her and drags her, and the guy's like about to shoot her, and he's like, "No, he wants her alive." It's like, oh, okay, whatever. So they go, they get the chick, and she's like, "Oh, sweet, I'm alive." And they're like, "No, we're gonna rape you now." And at this point, I'm like, "What?" And the dad grabs his hand, son, and he's like, "Feel this girl." And he's like rubbing it all over. And at this point, I'm like, "This is getting a little weird. It can't get any weirder." And then it's like, "No, you're wrong." And the black-haired girl says something to the guy that offends her, so he stabs her in the stomach. And then the other guy comes up and stabs her in the back, and she dies. And she's like, "Oh no!" And I'm like, "All right, good. They're not gonna rape her." And they're like, "Well, wait, we're still gonna rape her." And then so the older guy, who turns out to be the kid's dad, starts just raping her, and it's really weird and just disturbing in every way, shape, or form. And after it's over, she like picks up a rock and stands up and hits the dude in the face, starts running away like magically. She's fine after she just got raped, but she can run, and she's a good swimmer too. Forgot to mention that. Really good swimmer, and she runs in the lake, starts swimming around like, "Oh, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna make it." And the guys are like, "Oh, we have to kill her. She's gonna tell everyone." They both have pistols. They're just standing there shooting. It just shows you, underwater swimming scenes, bullets flying past her, and she's about to round this corner, and she's about 300 yards away, and the guy's on a hill, just kind of aiming with the pistol, shoots it, hits her right in the back, and you're like, "Oh, she died, god damn it." Well, the movie's only 10 minutes into the movie, how can it be over? And you're like, "Oh, whatever." So these people, it starts raining because it's night, and they walk to the nearest house they find, which coincidentally is her parents' vacation house. It's like, oh, dang. And their daughter had this locket on, and their son stole it before she got raped, and you can just see him there when they're talking to the parents. We're like, "Oh, we just got in a car crash. My brother broke his nose, and we just need a place to stay for the night." And her dad's a doctor, the girl's dad. He's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, you guys can stay here. Here, let me stitch his nose up with the, bring along ambulance I have in my house." And they're like, "Yeah, that'd be really cool. That'd be really awesome. That'd be really